Chris, how you doing this afternoon, man?
I'm doing great, thanks, Philip. How are you?
Good, good. Well, I'm glad we could get together on this. You're kind of my man on the inside when it comes to dedicated servers, and this has been something
Right.
that I see, picked up more and more by our, customers that are running network licensing, that are running SOLIDWORKS PDM, that don't want to deal with, their in-house server and their IT, but it really, could be a server for anything. I mean, these guys could be running ERP systems or any server thing they want on it, but the question that usually comes up is, how do they know they're ready for it? Can their site connect to it successfully? Like they want to do some testing. So I hope you could show me like a little bit of what they might be able to do, to make sure that they're going to have good performance and a good experience with the server setup.
Yeah, I think that's the important question, Philip, is when you're looking at moving to one of the MLC CAD systems dedicated servers. I think one of the important questions is it going to work for me? Is it a valid solution for me? And that's the part of the validation that I want to cover today is running some tests from your environment to our environment. So up front, you can answer those questions and validate that the solution is going to be right for you.
Okay. I mean, what kind of stuff do people look for? It sounds like, I mean, this is the type of thing I'm trying to avoid is to be some kind of network specialist or IT guy. Like, can I run an eligibility tool or like, what do I got to do to know that my internet connection is everything it needs to be?
Yeah, great question. The the nice thing here is that MLC CAD Systems has actually built a tool for you to do some testing and prove out the connection and really just to validate that you have the infrastructure in place to jump onto one of our dedicated servers. Now, the test itself is something we can run for you, but it is a really simple test. And I'd like to walk you through it today and just show you how that works,
Yeah, yeah.
what kind of results we get from it, and how we read those results.
Okay. Yeah, man, I'd love to see
And
that because this is something too that I don't have to be, here in my office we have like a business connection, like our internet's huge. At my house, I just have a regular set up. I use Google Fiber at home, but this,
Mhm.
people use this from anywhere. That's kind of the point of this server is that you don't have to be in one location, right? You could hit it from your house sometimes or from somewhere else. Would you want to test this in all the different environments you're going to be in?
Yeah. I'd want to test it in a multitude of different environments, to be honest. So, you are correct. You'd want to test it in your office. That's if you've got a lot of people working from one single location, obviously you'd want to test that connection.
Mm.
If you're going to work remotely, predominantly from home, you could do a test from home. And then other things to consider as well is, if you want to go Wi-Fi, you might be in the office, but you might not necessarily be plugged into a Cat5 cable. You might be in a conference room doing a presentation. You
Yeah,
need to get connection. So there's a multitude of different areas where you could run this test from and just get some results that tell you where your optimal location is and what kind of performance you're likely to have if you go to one of these other
yeah.
locations.
Okay. So could I just test also my worst? Could I just do like my phone's hotspot and be like, all right, this is definitely the worst situation I'm ever in and go with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So the test itself, I would run from your PC
Hmm.
and then use all of those different connections. Plug the cable in, take the cable out, run the test twice, switch it to your hotspot, run the test again, and yeah, just basically run through all those different scenarios and see what kind of results you get.
Okay. Well, let's check it out. What is it even testing for?
So what it's testing for is it's testing for latency. Now,
Okay.
most of our customers that are on a dedicated server are using our servers for data storage. There's a predominantly high number of people who are using PDM on the server. What that means is there's information traveling back and forth between our dedicated server at our location and your office location and your PC that you're working on. So
Sure.
the transfer of data is basically the what's happening in the background. And what we want to do is we want to test the connection to make sure that that transfer of data is going to be performing to the levels that you expect.
Okay. And latency is like the speed, right? I guess from if my computer tries to talk to your computer, how fast can we get
Yeah.
back and forth? So is that more important than like the size of the pipe or the size of the data?
Yeah, so latency is really the response time from the server to your machine.
Okay.
So it's how quickly that responds. Now you have the latency, which is the response time, and then you do have the bandwidth, which is like your basically your pipe size between the two locations.
Yeah.
Now, ideally, what you would want is a quick response time. So latency is very, very important. And when you're doing things in a PDM vault, you're actually doing a lot of transactions.
Hmm.
The PDM system, it's checking versions, it's looking at database calls, it's verifying
Yeah, I
state
got you.
permissions, that
It's
kind of thing.
building a lot of
So
lists just when you click on stuff, right? It's getting bill of
yeah,
materials.
you click on something, there's a lot of traffic going back and forth,
Okay.
and that response time is what you will notice as a user. You'll
Hmm.
notice how quick PDM on the response. So I mean, for us, what we would rather have is a quicker response time, even though the bandwidth might be slower. So for example, a latency of 20 milliseconds on a 100 meg switch would actually perform better than having a latency of, let's say, 120 milliseconds on a 1 gig switch.
Okay. And
So
we
it just
on
kind of shows you there how important the latency is.
I got you. And on the server side, on our side, it's a gig switch. You have a gig connection, right? I remember that from our website. Um, so
Yes.
yeah, I guess that's well. All right. Well, how do you look for this latency?
So what we do is we actually do a latency test, and we have a tool that does that for us. And I'd like to just open that up and show you it
Yeah,
if I
man,
can.
that'd be great.
So I have the connectivity test here. So if you're thinking of going to one of our servers, this is what we'll do: is we can provide you with what you're seeing on the screen right now. So there is a test right here, and there's some instructions in PDF format. And I'll just open those up and bring them on my screen so you can see them.
Okay.
So it's actually only a very simple 6-step procedure. You can send the results to us, or you can interpret them yourself. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment.
Okay.
But I'll walk through these 6 steps so you can see how easy this is.
Yeah, go ahead. I can already see the first one because I've dealt with this stuff before, which is I saw it as a text file, and I was like, what the
Yeah,
heck is a text file? And it's because
that's
you can
right.
send text files without,
Yeah.
yeah, emails and IT
Yeah,
departments
so
stripping it out.
that's right. Yeah, so a text file is going to email without being stripped out, but we actually do need to run a bat file, which if you've ever tried to send one of those before, Philip,
No
you will
chance.
know that there's a very high chance of that getting stopped.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm clicking on the text file and I'm just changing the extension to BAT.
Okay.
So
And
from TXT to BAT.
I've seen on some computers too, you have to change sometimes your folder options just in Windows Explorer to show file extensions because sometimes it won't
That's,
show the
yeah, good
.txt.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's take a look at that, seeing as you brought it up. So when you do change the extension, it's going to ask you if you really want to change it. It's going to give you a warning about the file becoming unstable, but just go ahead and continue on. And you are correct. If we take a look at the folder options, and if we go to the View tab,
Yeah.
then in here, what we need to do is we need to be able to display the file icon
I
in
think
order
it's
to see the .txt and the BAT.
I know one too. You have it unchecked too, second from the bottom. There's a hide extensions for known file types, which you want
Correct.
unchecked.
Yep.
I think it's checked by default in a lot of
Yep.
people's like Windows setup.
Yeah. So it could be checked. If it is, just uncheck it, hit the
Boom.
apply button, and then hit OK, and then your extension should show up. So yeah, once you're seeing that as a bat file, now you're ready to go to the next step, which is to simply run this as an administrator. So to do that, you'd want to do a right mouse menu, right mouse click, hit run as administrator. If you get a little security warning, just go ahead and hit run.
Yeah, maybe they got to get admin credentials, possibly ping somebody to give you those.
Potentially, yeah, potentially. User account control does pop up, and it validates that you want to run the file. So you would have to click on yes to that, and that's where you may need some IT support if you don't have that option to click yes. All right, now what it's doing is it's actually running some tests in the background, and you're going to see some command windows
Okay,
as it's running those
so this is
tests.
it. This is what you should see.
This is it. This is
Okay.
it. And all you really need to do right now is be a little bit patient. As you can see, once it's done, it'll tell you to press any key to continue, do as it says, and it'll close back up again. So that's it, Philip. It's ran the test. And what we have now in the same folder that we had the bat file is we have two text files. Now, these text files are the results. If you remember in the document, I noticed that at the bottom, you could send the results to us, which would be you would send these two files to us.
Okay.
But let's take a look at them. Let's see what we've got inside of there. So I'll open them both up.
Yeah, it's pretty lightweight.
And,
two kilobytes a piece.
Yeah, they're not very big, and I'll open them both in the same window. So what we're looking for is this right here. We're looking for the latency right here, the latency time. And with PDM, if you're running PDM, you're looking for a stable latency. Now here you can see I'm going from about 30 milliseconds. I'm peaking at about 70, some down in the 20s. But, overall latency is not too bad on that one. If I go over to this other text page here, you can see again, I'm around about the same. Now, I do want to point out here, guys, that I am actually running Wi-Fi, so not an ideal scenario. If I was running PDM, I'd want to be plugged in, but in order to do this presentation here, I'm in my studio and I'm running on Wi-Fi.
That's a good way to do it. I mean, we're literally having a Teams meeting right now to make this. You're in Atlanta, I'm in Texas. You're pinging servers in two different places. We're both on Wi-Fi. I think it's a good realistic test.
Yep, that is true. And here's what we're actually doing. So the ping test that shows us a address from 2329. That is the response back from the MLC firewall that your server would be sat behind. So my computer right now has just pinged that server and it's responded back, and it's taken this amount of time to respond back.
Okay.
Now,
sorry to interrupt. You just mentioned that firewall.
No,
when you send this test out, do you have to configure it per customer, or is it you just send it to anybody and this test will check everything? Because I know there's like multiple firewalls and multiple servers. Do you change it for each person, or is this good for everybody?
Good for everybody. And the reason why is what we have right now at MLCs, we have two server farms. One of them is in Tampa, Florida. One of them is in Dallas, Texas. What we're looking at right now is the server farm in Dallas, Texas. That's the 23. And the other text file that I have, the ping test going to the 66 site, that's actually going to Tampa. So what I'm doing is I'm actually pinging both locations from my PC in my office, and I'm getting responses back from both locations. Now, based on the response time that we get in here, you can see majority of my response, other than a couple of pings, majority of them right here, around about the high 20s, low 30s. So I'm getting a much better response from my Tampa location than I am from my Texas location. You can see my Texas is a little bit up and down. Still not bad. But I am getting a much more even response from Tampa, which would make sense. I'm sat in an office in Atlanta. Tampa's closer to me. Dallas is a little bit further away. So you're seeing a little bit quicker response from the Tampa location.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me you're looking at consistency of them. I would have thought we would just look at a peak. I know in times when I've been, troubleshooting PDM issues, I'll see something where maybe there's a couple hundred milliseconds response time, and it starts to correspond with performance issues. Is there a max limit that like, if somebody's getting 500 milliseconds, it's not going to be good? I guess I'm getting ahead of you here.
So good question. Yeah, good question. Leads me right into my next piece. So one thing that we do look for with latency is we like it to be steady. So for example, a latency of, let's say, 45 milliseconds that peaks at maybe 48 and Peaks at 42, we should say, and troughs at 48. That would actually be better performance in our mind than if you had a latency of, let's say, it peaks at 20 milliseconds and troughs at 120 milliseconds. We don't like that bouncing around. We like it to be steady and smooth.
Okay.
So, yeah, so if you can get a nice, steady performance, that's the first thing we look for. The next thing we look for is the actual numbers itself, the raw data. If you're getting less than 40 milliseconds, which, as you notice with mine, I'm on Wi-Fi, but most of mine was below 40 milliseconds. That's what a normal LAN environment would look like. So that's actually really good performance that I'm getting, even though I'm over Wi-Fi. If you're getting in that range, you're golden. Everything's going to work beautiful. That's going to give you great performance with PDM. It's going to give you great performance on our servers. So it's definitely a valid solution if you start seeing in latency anything less than 40 milliseconds. That's what we recommend.
Okay. And these here that you're showing these numbers, and what we're talking about, we correlate to
Mhm.
PDM so much because so many people, come from SolidWorks, use it for PDM. Would you use these
Yeah.
same numbers if someone said, "Hey, we're just doing a file share, or we're doing licensing for a completely different program, or we're doing something else with a server"? Are these
Yeah.
still good ballpark numbers?
You could probably go a bit higher on the latency if you were using it as just a file share, and especially if you're using it just as a license server. If it's just
Okay.
a license server, the latency becomes less critical. If it's a file share, you're moving data back and forth, so you still need that good performance. You still need good latency. You still need good bandwidth. But it's less critical, and the reason why is because PDM has all those transactions that I mentioned earlier. It's doing file existence checks, it's doing version validation, it's doing reference resolution. So there's a lot more traffic going back and forth when you have something like an ERP or a PLM or a data management system in place.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, those are the kind of most critical components we end up working with. I haven't seen anyone
Yeah.
gaming on these yet. I don't know what they need for that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But yeah, like I say, if you can get your latency around 40 or less milliseconds, then you're golden for our solution. Honestly, I wouldn't be too concerned if you were less than 80 milliseconds. You larger files, you might start to see some performance hits, but I don't think it would be too bad up to about 80 milliseconds. Anything above that is where I would start to maybe have you consider getting somebody to look at your network
Hmm.
and see if there's any switches that need updating. I would ask you to validate that you're not using Wi-Fi, but anything above 80 milliseconds, you will start to see some noticeable performance hits.
Okay. And if somebody if they ran the test and they're hitting 100 milliseconds all the time, could they
Mhm.
reach out to you and say like, hey, we're in this office. Like, what should we look for? What could we ask ISPs, internet service providers about?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer those kind of questions and assist any way
Yeah.
we can.
Cool.
So yeah, definitely.
Well, this test is honestly super easy. Is there anything else I need to look
Yeah.
for or run that, give you the data, and then we're good to go?
Yeah, like I say, run the test. The raw data is right there. You can analyze it yourself, but we would love to analyze this for you. So, yep, just package it up and send it over to us, and we would be happy to take a look at that and give you some feedback.
Perfect. Well,
So,
shoot, thanks for showing me this, Chris. I got a place or two I might try this out in. I'll let you know. I'll send my text files to you. You can tell me.
yeah, that sounds good. You can either send them directly to me, or you can see our email address down here at the bottom of the PDF that we would send you with this. You can just simply submit them back to there. You can even put my name on them. Then that way I'll pick them up for you and give you some one-on-one treatment.
Perfect. Looks like the same line. They can hit us up for all requests, and we can route it appropriately. So our website, 800 number, or the SolidWorks support at mlc-cad.com.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris. Thanks, man. I'll see you on the next one.
All right, Philip. Have a good one, buddy.
You too.
Talk to you later.